of any question, I'll give you a note and then talk to the assemblies.
Are you ready? You ready? Ladies and gentlemen, this is about the declaration of illegal results that is subject to this press conference. You will have heard from our representatives at the Bomas of Kenya. So this statement is subsequent to what our representatives at Bomas of Kenya have said. The NASA coalition is concerned about the fact that the IEBC has been streaming results from around the country which are not supported by Form 334A as is strictly required by the law. To resolve this issue, the NASA coalition has held a meeting with the IEBC, during which the IEBC acknowledged the fact that the results as displayed are based only on keyed-in results that are not supported by any evidence of the tally of votes. A clean, credible process would by now have a dashboard showing all tallies from all constituencies to add to a sum total so that the country can know which part of the country has been counted and what the votes are. What is going on right now is a sham and a total disregard of Section 39 of the Elections Act, which requires the IEBC to stream all Forms 34s on the public portal. As we stand, not a single Form 34 has been streamed. What we are getting are text results that are not provided for under Section 39. The Form 34s are not supposed to come after the results. They are supposed to accompany the results. 1 hour ago, the commissioners called for a meeting of all parties where these matters were raised. The IEBC ICT consultants disclosed that it would take 8 hours to open email accounts for parties to be able to receive Form 34As. In the meantime, the inaccurate and illegal text results keep streaming. The system has failed. It is the machine that is voting. IEBC has just said that no parties have disputed the results. How do parties dispute results which they do not even know their origins? Only Form 34A discloses the origins of the results. We therefore reject all the results streamed so far and demand that the IEBC produces Form 34As from all the polling stations before any further results are announced. End of the statement.
Thank you. John Agleby from the Financial Times. So, Mr. Dean, it seems to me what you're saying is you're not saying these results are necessarily wrong, you're just saying it's impossible at this stage to prove that they're correct. Is that what you're saying?
No, we're saying that these results are wrong, in fact. Because as you have seen it, these results have been very consistent. There is a formula that is factored in, that my opponent has just been leading from the beginning to the end. We have evidence here to show you that the first 377 results which came from 377 polling stations, I was leading, and that those results were not shown in the public portal, and therefore they were not even shared with the public. We have our own tallying center. But as you know, the field, they have refused to allow our agent to scan the results, the Form 34As. They have refused to allow our agent to scan. But our agents have shared the result with us. We show that, in fact, we are leading. So this is basically the computer that is voting. And our fear that this is precisely the reason why Mr. Chris Musando was assassinated, so that this could happen.
With the lack of the 34A document accompanying the results that we're seeing thus far, do you still have confidence with the electoral body that they will deliver credible results?
Certainly, otherwise I would not be talking here if I had the confidence. As you know, the procedure is very well and very clear, and we discussed it with the IEBC, that the presidential results are supposed to go from the polling station to the constituency tallying center. At the constituency tallying center, they're supposed to be tallied, and then the results announced by the returning officer. And then the law says, and this is also the ruling of the High Court, that the results announced by the returning officer at the constituency are final. So that the IEBC at Bomas of Kenya are supposed to just sum total the result from 290 constituencies. But they are bypassing the constituency tallying center, where the Form 34As are supposed to be physically present at the tallying. So they are basically streaming in results which are supposed to be being keyed in by some individuals, not necessarily the returning officers at the polling stations. So these results are fictitious. They are fake.
As a presidential candidate, these 34A documents that were supposed to be sent to every presidential candidate as it was supposed to happen, have you gotten any of these 34A documents?
Yes, we have received some of them from our agents at some polling stations where they were allowed to scan. We have quite a number of them. There are others which the returning agents were not allowed to scan, but they themselves have recorded results which we have.
My name is Ken Mujungu from ITV. I have two questions. The first question is, are you simply calling to receive these forms, or this is a demand from the law that you must be given these forms? The reason why I'm asking is because you alluded to the fact that there's an 8-hour period that some email addresses were supposed to be opened. Were they aware, or were you aware that you need email addresses to receive the same? And just in case you get, this is my second question, you get the form 34A and it tallies with the results that you have seen so far, would you come here and support the same results that we have seen?
You see, if this Form 34As bear the signature of our agents, we have no problem with this. Because in some cases, our agents have signed. But in a number of other cases, our agents were not even allowed to scan those forms. So what it is saying that the law requires that Form 34As be submitted by the presiding officer to the constituency tallying center. Then the returning officer then tallies all the results from all the polling stations within the constituency, and then announces the results. The results which the court said would be final, that they cannot be altered by the IEBC at the center. Remember, the IEBC had opposed that case. So what they are doing here is basically illegal. It's contrary to what the court did rule about. That the results coming from the constituencies, the community tallying center, are the ones which are supposed to be tallied by the National Commission and announce as results. Now they are posting results which you don't know their source.
Or the 8-hour period for the email addresses?
That 8 hour is basically an invention by the service provider. We were not told about that. We are not aware about that 8-hour requirement. This is supposed to be actually real time. I mean, the presiding officer, as it scans, our agents are also allowed to scan and to transmit. Now you remember that 4 days ago, the hooded police officers stormed on our tallying centers and vandalized the equipment there and took most of our computers, basically to try to cripple us, because we set up at other centers. What they have done is to basically cripple us by refusing to allow our agents at the polling stations to scan the results and to transmit to us.
What is your message to your supporters at the moment? Just to sit tight, wait for things to happen?
No, I'm not sending any message to my supporters. I'm talking to the nation.
Just two quick questions. One, if I got you right, you say that in 377 polling stations, if I'm not wrong, you're leading. Is it polling stations from your stronghold or from your opponent's stronghold? And you can give us some of the figures that you're seeing are contradicting what was announced. At least if you can mention some of the figures.
They were random, not necessary from our strongholds. Not necessary from our strongholds. But were the first results that were received by IEBC because our agents were on the ground, and we will share this information with you. But at no time in that screen that you've been seeing have I ever been leading. It started, and there's basically a formula, a factor which has been factored in, that fits in. It's just constant that my opponent is leading. This is exactly a replica of what happened in 2013.
Excuse me, just a moment. We want to end here. We have rejected the results being displayed as at now. We want to end it there. Please.
No, let
This one,
please.
I'd just like to know how else were you supposed to receive the result if the email addresses were not ready? And email addresses logically cannot take 8 hours. How else are you supposed to
You see, these results are supposed to be posted on a public portal. So as soon as the presiding officer announces the results, they're supposed to post it on the public portal accessible to the members of the public. It's and the media is also supposed to pick it from the polling station and announce it. Okay?
Have your agents shared with you some of their projections vis-a-vis those of IEBC?
Yes.
Some of them that you could share?
We have our projections from our agents, which show that we are actually leading by far.
Those are the forms we want to share with you here. They are here.
We'll give you copies.
Yeah.
Some of them.
So we end there.
Okay. Thank you.
You can share it. You'll see